we have Jesse Tassman. Jesse is the head of products at Redefine, and he's going to do a presentation called The Firewall, Combating Attacks and Putting an End to Blind Signing on DeFi Transaction. It's actually a demo.
Cool. Awesome. Hello, everyone. Thank you for sticking around for this. So we're going to attempt a live demo just now. Hopefully things go all right there. But just wanted to briefly talk about the issue of blind signing. So changing the perspective a little bit, now looking at issues that users are facing when interacting with DeFi in general. So what I got over here is a screenshot of some wallets that, all in all, are doing a fantastic job allowing users to interact in a very simple way and allowing them to be involved in what DeFi has to offer. However, as we've seen recently with Web3 attacks that have been taking place, and there are many other cases where ultimately a user will unknowingly sign on a transaction that could ultimately result in them using funds. What we have in the current solutions that wallets offer, there is a way to improve on that to help bring additional visibility and transparency to the user. And actually, what you see on all of these wallets over here, if any one of these transactions would be signed, you would lose all of your funds. So what is replicated here is in the most recent bridge attack that I'm aware of, sorry, not bridge attack, front-end attack on the Stellar network, the front end was compromised and a malicious data payload was injected into the user's wallet. This is an example of that data payload, and we can see that there's not sufficient visibility for the user to understand that what they're signing on would result in them losing funds. So I want to show you what we are building at Redefine that can help improve on this and assist the user. So I'm going to do 2 transactions now. I've just brought up Uniswap. I hope you can hear me. I need 2 hands. And I'm just going to do a simple transaction. So in this case, I've got a MetaMask wallet connected, and I've got my dFirewall Chrome extension installed. So I'm going to go ahead and allow the Uniswap protocol to spend my Aave. And we can see in this case on MetaMask, I'm signing an approved transaction with some hexadecimal blob. And dFirewall is letting me know that there are no issues in this case. So that's good. I'd be happy proceeding. Now what I'm going to do is going to hit F12 and inject a little something. Let's go. OK. And what I've injected, let me just do that again, is actually the exact same payload that I showed you in the previous screenshot that was injected during the Stellar front-end attack. And ultimately, if you have control over the domain, you can inject any payload you want into any user's wallet that connects to the site. Obviously, I have control over my own machine, so I can do that to myself. But now, as a user, I'm on the correct Uniswap URL. Everything looks legitimate as far as I can tell. So I'm going to go ahead and try to do the exact same transaction. And as you can see, as far as MetaMask is concerned, it's an approved function. It kind of looks similar to how it did in a legitimate transaction where there were no risks involved. But in this case, we are able to understand that if you would go and sign on this transaction, you would ultimately be losing your funds. And this is done by understanding the different signatures of attacks. So taking raw transaction data, simulating those transactions, and running them through Insights policies to go through the call stack and really try and understand if there are any flags being raised from a risk point of view. And in this case, we are able to identify that this transaction is not one you want to sign on. So to keep it fairly brief, that's what I'm going to end on. But ultimately, the security that's being worked on is incredible in this industry, and we're trying to take it from a user's point of view to try and protect the institutions that are deploying capital in the DeFi space. So we're running an early adopters program, so if anyone's interested in finding out more, happy to chat. But yeah, going to wrap it up there.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Any questions right here in the back?
Thanks. For the Firefox or the Chrome extension you just demoed, I saw from you said that basically the sender is not a recognized address. Are you running a sort of a whitelist list of well-known smart contracts, or are you running on some sort of analyze on the payload itself?
Yeah, so obviously, a blacklist and whitelist of contract addresses is something that we check against of like known malicious contracts. But what we do is go a little bit further down, so simulate the transaction, even look at any internal calls or delegate calls that are being made to understand the full effect and the full trace of that transaction, and try to identify in an automated way if there are going to be any state changes that would ultimately result in you losing funds that you didn't intend on losing. So we've tried to generalize it as much as possible, yeah.
Another question? Two more. Okay, we'll take two more.
Hey, I think that was a really cool demo. I wonder if you've talked to wallet providers directly, like MetaMask, for example, to get this integrated with them directly.
Yeah, so it's definitely a route that makes sense because we view ourselves ultimately as a complementary layer on top of wallet providers. It's great that we can operate standalone, but I think from the demo, it would be a much better user experience if, that was in one screen. So that, is a direction that we're looking in terms of partnerships and whatnot.
All right, too many smart people in the room. It was the same question. So we're going to move on to the next speaker. Thank you so much.
Thank you.